Live from the Kodiak Theatre at Warden and Finch from beautiful Toronto, Canada, the Rabbit Academy invites you to the 2022 Annual Awards in Board Gaming Excellence.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Annual Room and Board Awards. Welcome to the RABies, where we celebrate the best that board gaming has to offer. I am honored that everyone could be here tonight in this booming auditorium. I know production had a little bit of a joke putting this backdrop in the back. It's a good green screen. I can't touch it or it'll fall down. But we all know that we are in this booming auditorium, right? Oh, how we laugh. How we laugh. It is so great that the who's who of board gaming could be here tonight to celebrate 2022. 2022, the era of new games. There were definitely a bunch of games that happened last year, and all of them were in 2022. That's what we can usually say. But to those of you who are new this year, especially those of you watching at home, where have you been for the past 15 years? And really, when I look around this room and see the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme of board gaming, it really warms my heart. But all we can bring with this wonderful hobby. Awakened Realms is here. Awakened Realms, more like a Sleep Realms when I was reading that rulebook to Etherfields. Am I right? Thank you. Just a type 5 that I was told I had to do. Frosthaven is here. Frosthaven in 2017, Gloomhaven set the standard for gaming excellence. And so rather than make up a new game, we decided to come out with Frosthaven, where you can just build a house and do exactly the same thing you did with Gloomhaven, but just in a bigger box, just bigger. I also see Hoplomachus Victorum is here. Hoplomachus Victorum nominated for Best Solo Game. Unfortunately, you will be ineligible since I didn't get a damn sword. We also have Trudvang Legends here. Trudvang Legends, are you anywhere in the house? Oh, sorry, I'm receiving word that Trudvang Legends actually is still delayed in their shipping process after 3 years. You'll get the full game one day, but not today. I'm also thrilled to have the entire Dice Tower staff and the entire Shut Up and Sit Down staff and the entire No Rolls Barred staff, Rahdo staff, Board Game Co staff, Quackalope staff, Watch It Played staff, no pun included staff. They're all just off stage waiting to present for you if I ever let them on the stage, which I will not. Before we begin, though, I would like to thank our gracious sponsors of the event. For those of you who haven't been here before, welcome. And where have you been for the past 15 years? Now we're finally doing this live replay of the live broadcast, really making me understand why nobody rewatches the Oscars. Nobody rewatches award shows because it's one of those things where if you don't catch it live, you might as well just read about the results the next day, and it doesn't matter whatsoever. So naturally, that's why we wanted to bring these award shows to your door. We have 4 main categories that we're going to be covering over the night. Games of the year, from casual to heavy to crowdfunding. We have things about the industry. We have things about retail release. We have talking about ooh, pretty and shiny. That is a 3rd category. And we also have everything else as our generic 4th category, which relates to, well, room and board. Because this wouldn't be a room and board video if I wasn't completely self-indulgent at certain points in time. But unlike award shows where they load the front end with awards you don't really care about at all, we're going to start today off with Best Art Direction. These are the games that we want to have appear on our table. These are the games that don't look like your neighbor's prototype. These are the games that you can stand showcasing on your shelf and you stuff all the other games behind in that section of the calendar. And the nominees for Best Art Direction are Wonderland's War, Druid City Games. Tales from the Loop, Free League Publishing. Townsfolk Tussle, Panic Roll Games. Flamecraft, Cardboard Alchemy. Weather Machine, Eagle Griffin Games. Fall of the Mountain King, Burnt Island Games. Vagrant Song, Weird Miniatures. Oros, Ace Games. Return to Dark Tower, Restoration Games. ISS Vanguard, Awaken Realms. And the RABies go to Wonderland's War, Druid City Games. Here accepting the award on Wonderland's War's behalf is me, because I'm going to be doing it for everybody. Sorry, stay off stage. We'll get to you maybe at the end if you're lucky. We do have a few guests here, seriously though. We have a surprise musical guest that I won't reveal the surprise just yet, but they will be happening at some point during this awards ceremony. Congratulations goes to Wonderland's War. It's a beautiful looking game. Everybody thought you were the prettiest, and you can tell all of your friends that you're prettier than they are. Kind of like all of my friends did to me in high school. This one was close, actually. The Room and Board Academy had been casting their votes over the past month and a half. The last 2 weeks. And it came down to one vote. An honorable mention goes out to Flamecraft by Cardboard Alchemy. People love the art style of Flamecraft, but it is Druid City Games with Wonderland's War that take our first RABie of the night. And there's plenty more where that came from. So let's really get to something that's on everybody's mind. We always have a number of best of games, best of 2022, and I thought for this award show, we wanted to categorize it a little bit, because how do you really define between lighter games and heavier games, right? It depends on your preference, depends on what you like. So we're going to be having 3 different best of games throughout the night, and then finally a best overall game, but that game being crowdfunding specific. So there might be some overlap between the two. I guess we'll just have to wait to find out, but we will kick off this one with the best game released in 2022 in the casual setting. That's a rating on Board Game Geek of around 2.0 and lower, but just because they're simple doesn't mean they're not fun. So let's get to the nominees. Thank you. The nominees are King of Monster Island, Yellow. Star Trek Missions, WizKids. Aquamarine, Postmark Games. Foundations of Rome, Arcane Wonders. Long Shot the Dice Game, Perplexed. Ready Set Bet, Alderac Entertainment Group. Trekking Through History, Underdog Games. Decorum, Floodgate Games. Super Skill Pinball Holiday Special, WizKids. Cat in the Box, Bezier Games in association with Hobby Japan. And the RABie goes to Foundation of Rome, Arcane Wonders. This big box of chunky plastic where you put your plastic pieces on the board, very much like a choir taking over a certain amount of land, very much like a lot of other games about colonization that, we don't like to talk about anymore. You're building up the infrastructure of Rome, and you're going to be able to get income as well from your buildings. Foundations of Rome is this giant, ostentatious, obnoxious box, but that plastic appeal and that draw gets people to the table, and that's why voters voted it as their #1 Best of 2022 casual game. Let's keep this awards ceremony going. All of the games that you see here were nominated by the Room and Board Academy. If you're interested in joining the Room and Board Academy, the Roomies, the RABies, the Rabid, well, feel free to sign up for Patreon. Not that we need it. Have you seen this auditorium? It's pretty good. I'm sorry, Mom. I know you're sleeping. Okay. I just gotta get this out. Mom, they're waiting. The people are waiting. Can we go to commercial or something? Let's go to commercial. We'll be back after this commercial.
Are you tired of games that take hours to set up? Tired of the same old conversations day after day? Then try Letter Drop. Letter Drop turns those gloomy Sundays into fun days. It's simple. Drop the letters into our patent-pending horizontal fun vector and watch the words whiz by.
Unlike my dad, Letter Drop helps me with my homework and makes spelling fun. Thanks, Letter Drop. Letter Drop saved my marriage. And it's not so bad in the bedroom either.
Honey, what are you doing in here?
You said you wouldn't be home till later.
Come here, you son of a... But wait, there's more. Order now and get 2.5 cans of alphabet soup free with your purchase. How many more letters could you want?
Letter Drop's the only game I'll ever play.
Call right now. Operators are standing by to make you feel like a millionaire.
So try Letter Drop today. It's great family fun.
Letter Drop's not responsible for anything that happens to your family. Purchase at your own risk. Side effects include divorce, nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and great spelling. Product has a mind of its own and may claim your family for itself. Family sold separately, not available in stores.
Letter Drop. The review that nobody ever saw because the game never really launched on Kickstarter when it said it was going to. It was a fun game though. Our third category of the night is the best solo game of 2022. And these games can have a higher player count, but optimally are the best at that solo count. That's what I was looking for when I was receiving nominations, and that is, I think, exactly what we got. Some just in that one-person range, and some that have a few more people that you can add. So let's see what is the best solo game of 2022 right now. And the nominees are Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, Cryptozoic Games; Hoplomachus Victorum, Chip Theory Games; Tiletum, Board and Dice; Three Sisters, Motor City Gameworks, and maybe 25th Century Games. There's a lot of well-known publishers listed on the Board Game Geek page. Or at least that's what my teleprompter says. Resist, Salt and Pepper Games; Bargain Basement Bathysphere, WizKids; and the RABies go to. And yes, that is plural because we do have a tie. We have a tie with 2, and so of course this is a joint RABies awarded to Hoplomachus Victorum and Three Sisters. Both of these games were voted as the top solo games of 2022. Hoplomachus Victorum, where you are taking on the role of a gladiator slashing through the poker chips. I mean, your other gladiators, and emerging victorious. And then Three Sisters, where you are planting 3 different types of vegetables in a accessible roll and write game. Both of these have been doing very well in the solo sphere and received a tied number of votes. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns was a very close third, I guess now, but it is Three Sisters and Hoplomachus Victorum that get the RABie. Moving along to our next category, we have the best thematic implementation. And this is exactly how it sounds. How well does the theme implement into a game? How much does it feel like you're doing the actual thing that the game tells you that you're doing? Because theme is really important in terms of drawing us into games. Theme indoctrinates us into the world. Theme allows us to make believe, something I am very unfamiliar with, but I guess I will attempt. I'm almost done. I'm not even close to done. Yeah, you know what it is. Let's just get to the nominees. The nominees for Best Thematic Implementation of 2022 are Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, Cryptozoic; Starship Captains, Czech Games Edition; Marvel Dice Throne, Roxley; John Company 2nd Edition, Whirligig Games; Burn Cycle, Chip Theory Games; Dead Reckoning, Alderac Entertainment Group; My Father's Work, Renegade Games Studio. And the RABie goes to, you hear that, Mom? My Father's Work, Renegade Games Studio. Congratulations to My Father's Work. You are the best thematic implementation. It went pretty far in our thematic deathmatch, or our spooky scary deathmatch, where you are taking on 3 generations of horrible people or horrible minds as you attempt to basically be Frankenstein. You're basically Dr. Frankenstein. You're trying to raise monsters from the dead and make sure that your legacy lives on, and make sure that your children and your children's children do the job that they're friggin' supposed to, instead of spending all their time on YouTube or the internet. And speaking of spending all of our time on the internet, one of the major categories is coming up for the Room and Board Awards right now. And that, of course, is the FOMO-iest Campaign. We talk a lot about reducing the FOMO here on this channel. Not what this award show is about. This award show is about celebrating and making you feel like you need these things because other people said that they were incredible. That's what these award shows are all about. But we want to give a huge shout out to the campaigns that made us froth at the mouth. The campaigns that made us think, oh, we need this thing or we will die. The campaigns that made us push away the people who we hold most dear and turn to the screen refreshing, just looking for that next update of a stretch goal that was entirely make-believe. Well, this one is for you. The nominees for most FOMO in a crowdfunding campaign are Heroes of Might and Magic 3, Anastyr, Cthulhu Death May Die, Marvel Zombies, Spirit Island, Nature Incarnate, Foundations of Rome, the reprint and expansion, Castles of Burgundy, new edition, Unsettled, the reprint and expansions, Oathsworn, Into the Deepwood. Now, all of these I felt were very FOMO-inducing. All were put forward by members of the Rabbit Academy. But I do have to give a shout out to those that didn't receive votes because, hey, you're the least FOMO of the FOMO-iest. So way to go, Spirit Island and Unsettled. You do not take home this coveted Rabbit Award. Of course, it goes to none other than Marvel Zombies by Come On Global Limited. Congratulations, you incited the most FOMO in your campaign. Second place was also a Come On campaign, Cthulhu Death May Die. Come On knows how to work it. They know how to make you want it. They're the opposite of me and this channel. They know how to make you want it. So a huge congratulations goes out to Marvel Zombies, who garnered over $9 million in their campaign. I would have thought that with all that money you could have sponsored this entire award show, but here we are in this measly auditorium again. Now, we love to have fun and games here at the RABies Awards. We do have to take a moment and remember that it's not all fun when it comes to games. And in fact, I'd like to take this opportunity, number one of our 2 special musical guest stars, number 2 being significantly better, but still number 1 is here. It's time to remember the games that we've lost. Remember the games that we want to never see again. And remember the games that just fell short of our expectation. This is In Memoriam with I Will Remember You by Slippery Jim.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Oh, don't let it know we not for the memories. The good times that we had. Let them slip away, you get it, from us when things got bad. How I clearly first saw you smiling in the sun. Want to feel your warmth upon me. I want to be the one. Oh, I will remember you. Da, 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 da. Will you remember me? Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I can't come on. It's too painful. I'm sorry. Oh no. All these little treasures getting all their dings and dents. Oh no, I can't.
Really hits you. Really gets you. Gets you where you live. Thank you, Slippery, for that beautiful rendition. Never forget, or try to forget. Next up, we have the award for Best Publisher of 2022. These are the publishers who have delivered a consistent body of work, a body of exciting work throughout the year, who've showed exemplary customer service, who have shown up for their community and delivered upon their expectations and the expectations that people have. These are the publishers that people wanted to celebrate and put forward and nominate, and we are going to crown one, the Best Publisher of 2022, right now. The nominees for Best Publisher of 2022, Mind Clash Games, Garphill Games, Rio Grande Games, Flat Out Games, Board and Dice Games, Come On Global Limited Games, and Awaken Realms. And the award for Best Publisher of 2022 goes to, we know it's the same envelope, it's Awaken Realms. Awaken Realms, congratulations. Awaken Realms actually wanted me to read a statement from them. I know they're right in the audience. I don't know why they couldn't get up on stage, but here we are. I will go ahead and do my due diligence and read this statement from Awaken Realms. This is an official statement from Awaken Realms that I have written down right here. It says, To all of my fellow nominees, haha, we won. We are better than you. Suck it. Oh, you thought you could win? Well, you must have been dreaming. We're awake. Welcome to our world. P.S. This proves we don't have to ever fix our rulebooks. So congratulations to Awakened Realms. Oh, there's another PPS here. It says, PPS, all of our minis don't matter. But they're really cool, so people still love us. Awakened Realms is a great company. Awakened Realms is a company that I really like a lot. Awakened Realms incites a FOMO in me, unlike any other company as well. And I find myself having to pump the brakes on their stuff because I am so drawn in by their stuff. But they've just been such a killer company, exploded onto the scene, and have just been delivering a bunch of consistent hits. So this award is well deserved, and congratulations goes to them. Moving along for the best of the year, we're going to go to the online local game store of the year. We're all about supporting our friendly local game store here at Room and Board. We're also about supporting our friendly local board game Facebook group filled with people who will sell you games for cheaper than your friendly local game store. Plus, voting for a friendly local game store wouldn't really make sense on a sort of global level or a widespread level, as all the members of the Rabbit Academy are around the globe. And so our next category is the online local game store of the year, or the online game store of the year. I'd like to say online local game stores so that we can feel better about purchasing things for cheaper and running everyone else out of business. So the nominees for online game store of the year are Boardlandia, Tabletop Merchant, Game Nerds, 401 Games, Miniature Market, Board Game Bliss. I threw 401 Games and Board Game Bliss onto this category. Everyone here received votes. Everybody has purchased from these places. I'll check these places out. If you have a game store that you like to purchase things from and you find that they give you good value, check them out as well. I'll drop that in the comments below. But the overwhelming majority here, best online local game store of 2022, goes to Game Nerds. Congratulations to Game Nerds. Once again, this annual RABies is not sponsored by anyone. If anything, it's sponsored by the World Series of Board Gaming because I should be doing work for them, and instead I've spent my entire day doing this. Please don't tell my bosses. I'd like to keep my job. Make sure you go sign up for the World Series of Board Gaming because it's a fun event, you know? And I'll be there. Although I'll be running around and my hair will be in a giant puff and I will have bags under my eyes the size of Slippery Jim's drool marks, but I'll be there. Congratulations goes to Game Nerds. Game Nerds, this is again voted by a community. This is voted by people who have enjoyed their purchases from Game Nerds, enjoyed the customer service that they've gotten at Game Nerds, and hey, there's your free publicity, Game Nerds. Great job for being a consistent seller. Really. Now moving along to one of the more serious categories of the night, of course we have to celebrate one of 2022's greatest hits, Bounce Off. There were a number of planned Bounce Off expansions that launched in 2022, amazing Bounce Off IP crossovers that were announced and are in heavy development. And so this award goes to the most anticipated Bounce Off IP crossover of 2022. And the nominees are Bounce Zombies Off, Undead Shipping Prices, Spicify 2, The Swingers Bounce Off. Blacklist Games presents Bounce Off Rollin' Right. Pay what you want and you get nothing either way. Bounce Haven, Dead or Alive Volleyball Bounce Off, and Button Shy Bounce Off. A lot of great companies wanting to get in on the Bounce Off IP and really capitalize on the fervor that is sweeping the nation. I don't know if you've heard, but Bounce Off is one of the top games of 2022. However, one of these managed to propel itself forward above the rest, giving a fresh take to the Gloomhaven Frosthaven IP. Congratulations, the winner is Bounce Haven. You are the most anticipated Bounce Off IP. Enjoy a large 200+ scenario campaign where you are using the mechanics of Bounce Off combined with the variable player power cards and classes, have over 72 different classes of bouncing, multiple costumes so that you can really get involved and entrenched in the character, and multiple platforms of Bounce Off as well as you travel around the globe erecting monuments to save the world. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the Gloomhaven IP, and I'm sorry that Frosthaven will be overshadowed by it, but, you know, I'm not sorry that we'll have an incredibly great game to remember it by. Let's keep this award show going. The great part about award shows is that they last a lot longer than anybody would ever want. And so we're trying to keep on with that tradition. But 2022 also brought us a lot of expansions. And I was trying to cap these nominations at around 10. And so I had to combine a few here in order to hit that 10. There were a lot of great expansions out there. So here are the nominees for Best Expansion of 2022. Viscounts of the West Kingdom, Gates of Gold, and Keeper of Keys. Dune Imperium, Rise of Ix. Red Cathedral, Contractors. Star Wars Outer Rim, Unfinished Business. Nemesis, Lockdown. Marvel Champions, Sinister Motives, and Mutant Genesis. Everdell, New Leaf and Mistwood. Viticulture World, Wingspan Asia. And the RABie goes to, we have a tie, Star Wars Outer Rim Unfinished Business, and Marvel Champions, Sinister Motives, and Mutant Genesis. Congratulations to both of these two expansions. These were voted on an overwhelming amount. I am surprised that enough people have played expansions. The thing about expansions is that you usually get a little bit of a smaller voter turnout, but people turned up for these two games specifically. I heard Sinister Motives and Mutant Genesis were two of the better core box expansions that Marvel Champions has ever put out, and I'm surprised to see Star Wars Outer Rim here, mainly because that is such a big game already, but having the Unfinished Business expansion in there elevates the game. So if you own either of those games, check them out, and congratulations to both of our champions. Continuing with the retail side of things, we focus a lot on crowdfunding here, but we want to focus on the retail aspect as well. Next up, we have the best production value in a retail release. And so this isn't necessarily the best game of retail, but it's a category of if you were to purchase something at retail, would you feel like you got your money's worth for it, and would you enjoy the component quality of the game? Some games with Kickstarter, the benefit of Kickstarter is that they have a wide array of deluxifications, and retail often feels a bit lacking in comparison, and so these are the games that were nominated as best production value in a retail release. King of Monster Island, Yellow. Twilight Inscription, Fantasy Flight Games. Planted, a game of nature and nurture, Buffalo Games. Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, Stonemaier Games. Vagrant Song, Weird Miniatures. Endless Winter Paleo-Americans, Fantasia Games. Revive, Aporta Games. And the winners are Vagrant Song and Endless Winter Paleo-Americans. It is another tie. Congratulations goes to both of these games for having the best production in a retail release. I've heard incredible things about Vagrant Song. I've wanted to pick up Endless Winter at that retail level. I waited for it. Instead of doing it at Kickstarter, I knew I could save myself some bucks, and it looks to be a very nice production quality as well. So congratulations goes to both of these two games, and to all of our RABies nominees. Let's give them all a big hand. Let's give them all a big hand, everybody here. That's right. Okay. Quite nice. Now we've reached the halfway point, I know, of the awards ceremony, and like any good awards ceremony, well, we have to have a special musical guest here to perform their hit single, Milkshake by Kellis, an acoustic cover. We have the #1 Josh Groban cover band, that's right. Let's give it up for the Ballad Boys, taking us into the break. We will see you in the second half.
I know you wanted the thing that makes me what the guys go crazy for.
They lose their minds.
The way I wind, I think it's time. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I'd have to charge. La 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 la. Warm it up. Fa la 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 la. Boys are waiting. I see you're on it. You want me to teach thee techniques that freaks these boys.
It can't be bought, 'cause thieves get caught.
Watch if you're smart. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I teach you twice.
Once you get involved, everyone will look this way, so you must maintain your charm, same time maintain your halo. Just get the perfect blend, plus what you have within. Then next his eyes are squint, then he's picked up your scent. La 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 la.
It's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge. My milkshake brings my boys to the yard, and there's like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge. My milkshake brings my boys to the yard.
Weren't they great? Weren't they great? Yes, that's true. And bringing us back, now let's jump into our second half of the program. Going back to the best of 2022 in our medium weight game category. This is ranked from a 2 to a 3.5 on Board Game Geek, that medium complexity, when you don't want to think too much, but you still want something a little to sink your teeth into. Here are the nominees for Best Medium Weight Game of 2022. Encyclopedia, Holy Grail Games. Wonderland's War, Druid City Games. Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, Stonemaier Games. Endless Winter, Fantasia Games. We got some Endless Winter fans in the crowd, don't we? Sorry, I'll continue. Planet Unknown, Adam's Apple Games. Flamecraft, Cardboard Alchemy. Mythic Mischief, Ivy Games. Mosaic, A Story of Civilization, Forbidden Games. Massive Darkness 2, Command Global Limited. Vagrant Song, Weird Miniatures. A lot of great games in this category, but there can only be one winner, and the RABies goes to Wonderland's War, Druid City Games. Congratulations to Wonderland's War. Oh, and I actually have a pre-prepared statement from Wonderland's War. Again, they're in the audience, but they didn't want to get up on stage for some reason. Wonderland's War says, haha, take that, Endless Winter. You didn't even come in second. Come on and give me the title. In your face, all you other pathetic games. You're gonna be burnt. I'm the winner. I'm the best. So a nice, humble official statement from Wonderland's War. Oh, there was a PS here that I didn't read. At least Alice in Wonderland is good for something. That's true. At least it's good for something. Congratulations to Wonderland's War. This is a sort of two-part game, area control, where you will first have this tea party phase, and you'll go around collecting chips and adding them to your bag, and then you're going to choose different areas of the board to have a battle in and compete over, and you're going to throw the chips you've collected in there and try to be the best. Now, in honor of our top 150 Board Game Geek Mechanics series, well, just ranking and defining all the mechanics on Board Game Geek, we asked our Rabbit Academy what was the best mechanic that they saw, the best use of a mechanic throughout board gaming in 2022. And so I wanted to put that forward. We got a few nominees of very interesting, fun ways in which people were enjoying gaming over the course of the year. So the nominees for Best Mechanic of 2022 are Cube Tower, used in King of Monster Island and The Spill, dropping cubes into a tower and having them spew out randomly and that affecting the board state. We have Information Reveal. This wasn't listed as a specific mechanic, but They Live, which will be coming up on our indie games list. They Live has an interesting way of using the 3D glasses to see status of a player, like the Nemesis, checking if you're infected or not. We have worker placement with dice workers. Many games use this to great effectiveness, as seen in Encyclopedia, Wayfarers of the South Tigris, Creature Comforts, Merchants of the Dark Road. Those were the examples that were listed by the community. And finally, we have negotiation, being able to make deals and trade nearly anything in John Company 2nd edition, combined already with negotiation cards that are binding in the game. If you want negotiation, you should check that one out. Those were our nominees, and the winner is worker placement. It was worker placement by a mile. I think it all depends on what you want, but worker placement with dice workers having such a prevalent, wide, sweeping application, I think is what tipped it in its favor. There's so many little games you can point to and say, oh yeah, I liked it in that, I liked it in that, and having that move up forward is, congratulations, worker placement with dice mechanics. You are the best used in 2022. Now, moving along to that indie release category, we don't want to just celebrate the big retail. We don't want to celebrate the crowdfunding, because main reason of why I really enjoy crowdfunding campaigns are because anybody can do them. Anyone can bring an exciting game to life and put forward their idea and have people jump on board and back it and support it. And so these were the indie releases, the games that didn't get a lot of press. Certainly I hadn't even heard of a couple of them that were put forward here. Okay, just 2, but still, these are the nominees for the best indie release of 2022. Omicron Protocol, Dead Alive Games. Aquamarine, Postmark Games. Sniper Elite, Rebellion Unplugged. They Live, Assault on Cable 54, Iconic Studios. Cora Quest, web published, and also Bright Eyed Games. Crimson Scales, self-published. Resurgence, Half a Kingdom Games. And the best indie release goes to everybody! You get an indie release, and you get an indie release! Well, actually, no, we do have 3 winners. The 3 winners are Sniper Elite, Crimson Scales, and Resurgence. All of these managed to garner the exact same amount of votes. People were excited about these indie releases over the other ones, but again, this was a list put forward by the Rabbit Academy, the Academy of the best minds in board gaming, I'm sure, and I have to say that because they're actually the ones who are sponsoring this video. Please join the Patreon if you want. It, helps me out. I spend way more time than anyone should on stupid things like this. Congratulations goes to all 3 of those games. Sniper Elite is a 1 versus all hidden movement game. One player will play the sniper, the other players will play the elites, and you'll have to overcome a number of different scenarios. There'll be 9 different people on the opposite team, so if you have 3 people, you can get 3 teams of 3, or you just kind of all move them together. Crimson Scales was the Gloomhaven fan-made expansion, which had additional content and kind of came out in 2022. It's listed as 2021 on Board Game Geek, but I think for wide appeal, that's where it hit. And then Resurgence is a game that I thought looked really good on Kickstarter and is just fulfilling to people as well. Stan Kordonsky, I want to say, is the designer. Yeah, that one looked really fun. So let's move on to our next category. Let's keep this going. We have the best retail release of 2022. These are games that went straight to retail, did not touch the crowdfunding sphere whatsoever, and so therefore are things that I'm generally less familiar with, which is why I'm very happy that the Rabbit Academy put in all those lovely votes. Here are the nominees for best retail release. Twilight Inscription, Fantasy Flight Games. Space Station Phoenix, Rio Grande Games. Caesar sees Rome in 20 minutes, PSC game. Caesar, I don't even know her. No. Starship Captains, Czech Games Edition. Star Trek Missions, WizKids. Three Sisters, Motor City Gameworks, 25th Century Games, who knows. Vagrant Song, Weird Miniatures. Great Western Trail, Argentina, Eggertspiel. Lacrimosa, DeVere Games. Golem, Cranio Creations. And the best retail release of 2022 goes to Get Your Bindles, because it's Vagrant Song, Weird Miniatures. Congratulations, you are the best retail release of 2022. You get the RABie. Vagrant Song is sort of a campaign game with 20+ scenarios. You're traveling on a train. You're interacting with ghosts. I saw it at Origins, and the little acrylic standees look so cool, and I've heard nothing but fun things about it. So if you like those sort of campaign style scenario-based games, check this one out. There's a lot of it's a weird art style. It's very similar to Townfolk Tussle in that cartoony art style, that Cuphead style. I want to say. It feels very similar to that. So it looks good, and a lot of other people thought so. That's why it is our 2022 winner. Now, we've talked a lot about other games, and we haven't talked about me enough throughout this broadcast. So I decided, well, to throw in an award for myself. What is the best RABies that's out there? The correct answer was Bugs Bunny. Only one of you got it. But here are the nominees for the best room and board ongoing bit. And fair warning, whichever one wins, you're going to be seeing a lot more of. The Bears Kidnapping My Family. Oh, I already regret this decision. It's Just Like Duel Monsters. Funny card games. Slippery Gyms. April Fool's Delight. Devilish Dice. I'm a bit hesitant to read this. Because if it is what I think it is, then I'm a bit afraid. But I'm also afraid of what happens if they don't win. I don't have to worry about it. It's the Bears winning the RABies. The Bears now have RABies. And, oh, here to accept the award on the Bears' behalf, we have Bear Representative Mr. Bearson. Come on. Come on, okay.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, just go. I'm gonna get you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. You know, you think it's just an honor to be nominated, and then the unthinkable happens. That's a bit of blood. On behalf of the entire bear community, I, Mr. Bearson, would just like to say thank you so much. We've put in a lot of work changing our image, and it's nice to see that it's been, it pays off, right? It's nice to see it's also been finally recognized as a bit, right? Because we all know that I wouldn't be here today if I thought that, Chris was going to slander us. I wouldn't be here today. In fact, I would be tracking down the likes of specific people who go by Like a Pro 2051, who says the bear stick really isn't funny. Maybe it's time to retire it and try some new material. Well, I'll tell you what, 2051, maybe it's time somebody retire you. You know, I'm just kidding. But I will be tracking you down, and I have an incredible sense of smell. Yeah. Again, little joke. I just like to do the little jokes when I'm up here, of course. I'll be looking forward to spending a lot of time with Chris George in his studio. That's right, making sure he stays on task. And really putting this award, this honorable RABies award, to good use. It's time to change the name. RABies can be good, people, and you heard it here first. It's like I always say, things are never black and white. They're black, white, and brown, and other colors of bear fur. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations.
There we go. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they have another source of their ire. I'm not happy that they are going to be permanently around my house now, but what can you do? The people have spoken. Let's move on. We have 4 categories remaining. The best game that was released, the most anticipated coming in 2023, of course, the spiciest game out there, and finishing up with the best crowdfunding game that delivered in 2022, really giving you all a dose of FOMO and inciting you to purchase even more as we finish this off. So let's get into it. We have the last of our best of series. Here are the nominees for the best heavy game released in 2022. 3.5 and above on the Board Game Geek scale. Frosthaven, Cephalofair Games. ISS Vanguard, Awaken Realms. Oathsworn, Into the Deepwood, Shadowborn Games. Tiletum, Board and Dice. John Company 2nd Edition, Worthy Gig Games. Frostpunk, Glass Cannon Unplugged. Weather Machine, Eagle Griffin Games. Burn Cycle, Chip Theory Games. And Perseverance Chronicles Episodes 1 and 2, Mind Clash Games. This is my sort of category. I like all the games listed here, but only one can win. The RABies go to ISS Vanguard, Awaken Realms. Congratulations, you are the best heavy game released in 2022. And Oh no, I'm being handed another message from Awakened Realms saying, haha, this is our second. Eat it, all of you. You didn't even get one. We're frothing at the mouth. We're filled with rabies. Booyakasha. So, official statement, again, really not being a good winner. Maybe that's why most of their games are now co-op campaigns, because this competitive streak has clearly come out. Let's move along to the most anticipated crowdfunding game of 2022. These are games that funded in 2022 that are upcoming, and this is a tough one to measure. We had a list of things, and we also had some honorable mentions. I said, write in your own, hoping that The Simpsons might win. Or South Park might win as a community reference, but that wasn't to be. And these are just games that people on the Rabbit Academy are excited for, and one of them they are more excited for than the others. So we have All-Time Wrestling, Cation Arts, Hegemony, Lead Your Class to Victory, Hegemonic Games, fitting, Legacy of You, Garp Hill Games, Septima, Mind Clash Games, Thunder Road Vendetta, Restoration Games, Earth, Inside Up, cute comical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes a noise. Stuff by Bez. That was my addition. Also my addition, Unfair, the Unfair expansion. Nobody voted for this, but I'm excited about it. And then some of the other ones that people wrote in entries. These entries, well, they may not have won because, you know, they weren't on the ballot to begin with, but these are what people are excited about. Primal, Egemonia, Sleeping Gods, Distant Skies, and Marvel Zombies. All of you get a shout out. But the award for most anticipated game goes to, it was very close, but Septima edges it out by Mind Clash Games. Legacy of You is hugely popular, and that's probably because a lot of the members of the Rabbit Academy are big solo gamers, and that's a solo campaign. But it's Septima by Mind Clash. Mind Clash's most accessible title, I would say. I've played it a bit. I played the demo at Origins, and it was really fun, and I look forward to getting it at retail. I didn't need the deluxe edition personally, but I can see the draw. Septima was up there on my list, so I'm happy to see it also be up there on other people's lists. Only 2 more categories, and then you can all go home. That's right, 2 more rabies shots to give out. Rabies shout-outs to give out. It's teleprompter. It's tough. And of course, we've seen a lot of games over 2022, but where would we be without the spicy games? These are the games that you may want to turn the channel off if you got kids around, because they're not safe for ears to hear. And there was a surprising amount of spicy little games out there. A huge list. We had to break our 10 nominees rule because there were just so many really sexy, spicy games out there. But only one can take the title of Spiciest Game of 2022. So here are the nominees. And again, you've had your not safe for work warning. Spicify, One Dick Galaxy, Dick Theme Park, Be a Hoe on the Hill, 3rd edition, Frothin', Hose of Spit Island, Marvel Dick Throne, Star Wars Jabba's Palace, a love letter game, Feed the Kraken, 3 Sisters, Massive D2, Hellscape, My Father's Work, Long Shot, the Dick Game, Creature Comforts, Carnology, Woodcraft, Disney Anus, Bigger and Badder, Star Wars Anus, Power of the D, Blood on the Cock, Micro Macro Rim City, all in, F Club. I don't even know what game this is. There's a game called Farm Club in 2022. Don't know what game this was even referencing. It doesn't matter. All of these were spicy games. I want to give an honorable room and board win to Betrayal at House on the Hoe. Sorry, to Be a Hoe. Be a Hoe on the Hill. That's what it was. Be a Hoe on the Hill, 3rd edition. Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Be a Hoe on the Hill, 3rd edition. It's the 3rd edition that kills me in that one. But it's not Be a Hoe on the Hill that wins. There were many good ones and many votes cast. But the spiciest game of 2022, the award goes to Disney Anus, Bigger and Badder. People just really resonated with Disney Anus, Bigger and Badder. Oh. Let's finish this nonsense up. We've got one more category. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this awards show. If you did, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I do silly things like this sometimes, but most often I treat this seriously. I'm a professional. No nonsense moving forward. But seriously, if you can subscribe, if you can like, subscribe, helps out a lot. Helps me grow. When I reach 10,000 subscribers, well, hey, I'm going to do my top 10 games, top 20 games of all time. So that'll be a fun couple videos that I'm excited to talk about and to share. And I'm going to dangle that in front of you, not unlike a lot of these previous games in that previous category, but I'll dangle that as a little treat until we get there. We're going to get there pretty soon, so I'm excited. Anyway, finally, we have to end on a crowdfunding note since we do so much crowdfunding coverage here on the channel. This is the best crowdfunding game that delivered in 2022. Doesn't matter when it was funded, it matters that it is now in people's hands at some point of 2022. Could have been at the beginning, could have been at the end. These are the nominees for the best crowdfunding game that delivered in 2022. We have Frosthaven, Cephalofair Games. One Deck Galaxy, very different from a previous title, Asmodee Games. Zombicide Undead or Alive, Command Global Limited. ISS Vanguard, Awakened Realms. Wonderland's War, Druid City Games. Oathsworn, Into the Deepwood, Shadowborn Games. Castles of Mad King Ludwig Collector's Edition, Bezier Games. Marvel Dice Throne, Roxley. Massive Darkness 2, Command Global Limited. Out of all those games, I have Marvel Dice Throne and Massive Darkness 2. I think I would lean towards Massive Darkness 2. That one has been a sleeper hit for me, but that is not the winner of this category. Or maybe it is. I haven't looked at the official special winners card here. The winner, the last winner of the night, the best crowdfunding game delivered in 2022, we have ISS Vanguard by Awakened Realms. And now they're handing me a statement almost immediately. You can just come up, you can just say it yourself. Okay, well, we'll close on this note from Awakened Realms. Thanks everybody for watching. My name's Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase, unfortunately. Thank you for tuning in to the RABies. And as they say in Poland from Awakened Realms, get stuffed, that's 3. Triples, am I right? We'll see you next year. Take care.